Albie and everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Tom Shattuck's Burn Barrel. Very ego-driven fellow I am, Alice. Everything's named after me. Trying to force it down. Eventually I'll permeate. You know, keep saying Shattuck and eventually they'll be fine, okay?
As we play music by you.
Yes. Oh, man, I was Mr. Man today, Alice. I fixed the child's bike. I didn't need you. I had to use a special wrench.
What was wrong with the bike?
It's his chain fell off because the thing that holds the pedals in, like the joint there, was loose, was unscrewed in. So they threw it at Walmart, like half-assed it or whatever.
Wow.
And so I needed a special piece of equipment. I had to make sure it was all set up. It was very impressive. Very
Nicely
impressive.
done. Good job.
Thank you. I had all sorts of things come up today. All sorts of things come up. Now, Alice, I have a new show. It's called the Shattuck Show.
Shattuck Show. Lots of praise for it in the chat.
Thank you, guys.
Today, Trish said it's like the best part of the WTIC Tom Shattuck Show.
Well, thank you. That's kind of what we're aiming for. Thank you very much. I had fun doing it, and I was really enjoying talking about what we were talking about, which is some of the stuff that we'll talk about now. I do notice that, you know, without any, it is the WTIC thing a little bit, but I found myself move. Like at the 7th minute of not talking about what I intended to start with, I started to reel myself back in, but there was a lot of that happening. But I was enjoying myself. So, you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for, really, right?
Here's a little piece of the Shattuck Show from today. It's going to sound a lot like me, as a matter of fact. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Here it is. So now it's Trump's fault because he mobilized ICE agents to go throw out lawbreakers, which these illegals are. And so how are they supposed to act because they're under attack, which the left has told them they are and validated them? So now they're attacking law enforcement, and now the bad guys are the good guys. And that's what they're doing. And they're looking over here, and they're saying, okay, that's my new mindset. What's the lawn sign I should get for that? Please reinforce it for me. Please validate me. Meanwhile, the bleep is hitting the fan on the streets.
Issue, and
this is the police chief of L.A., a guy who said a couple of days ago that things were fine. It is no longer fine.
Issue, and the federal authorities have the right to be able to do what they're doing. As far as people worried about the violence that we're seeing.
Oh, of course, Boston Irish. I wanted to get that in there. It was a little anti-Hibernian slur, Alice. Now,
wow.
Would I have been allowed to do that on WTIC? No.
No. You've been unleashed, unshackled
Absolutely.
from the bonds of employment, unshackled from the step-on wife. You have been freed, released
free
from the world.
Free at last. I am free to be as bigoted and racist as I want to be. And yes, it is
mostly against Irish people.
Oh well, those are for Steve and Tim, and those are for a reason. Those have names on it. That's like writing Steve and Tim's names on the missile when they're going to drop.
So, if you want to hear more of this newly freed Tom, you can go and find the Shattuck Show. We will put the links to find it and subscribe to it in the show description here as well, so that you can find it. There's a trailer for it with links in the podcast feed already.
The Apple link and the Spotify link, and they're just those two?
Amazon, I guess.
Okay, we should add us to the website too, I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
I submitted it to, what's the other thing called?
Odyssey, iHeart.
Odyssey and iHeart, but they take longer, I think. But yeah, those are the big 3 that are up already. And so if you want to follow that you get a pure hit of Tom, completely uncut in the morning.
Here we go. Yes, absolutely. I had a blast doing it today. And I want to do a way that I can get some feedback during, not quite a chat, although I do like the chat. But
and you'll get distracted easily by reading a chat, so I feel like it can't be that.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. That's what we got.
We'll have to see. We turned around and got this out like in 48 hours, so we kind of like...
We sent my big write-up in Parrot Sports Media. I sent him another press release about how the monumental it was, and now I had a new podcast.
For immediate release.
Exactly. I don't know if he's moved on it yet, but if there's absolutely nothing else going on in the world, they may actually do it. Doesn't matter. But anyway,
They could get some clicks if people are Googling what happened to Tom Shattuck during this week, because people may be wondering what happened.
I threw it up on Facebook today because I figured that's one of the places where some listeners go to hang out. And she said, hey, if you're wondering at 11 a.m. where I am, I'm here now. So here we go. I think we should start really with, it's the same. What's happening right now in LA? Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I want to talk about this. And I guess my sort of first impression of everything is that I hope nobody ever acts again like anyone on the left is acting in good faith when they talk about January 6th or anything like that.
Well, right.
I mean, that's what's so embarrassing to me is that we had to listen to these people lecture about how horrible January 6th was, which was like 2 hours of riot or something, and in which no one died or nothing bad really happened. And now we're being forced to sit through this gross thing where they're literally throwing rocks and bricks at the police, smashing up cars, setting them on fire, taking over the streets. Like, you can't take anyone seriously. Nobody's lips had better mouth the words January 6th on the left ever again. They are not to be taken seriously, these people that talk about this stuff. Anyone who acted like January 6th was some horrible violent insurrection, and I get it, all the people calling the thing in LA an insurrection and whatever,
including Trump, by the way,
right,
which is very funny.
I get it, that's the humor, like, it's true, but in all seriousness, none of them can ever be, nobody who lectured about January 6th, you can't take this stuff seriously again, because I mean, for example, you and I have been very consistent on this position. We are anti-riot, we are anti-attacking police, no matter who's doing it, period, the end. But nobody on the left who has acted like January 6th was the end of democracy. Nobody should ever be taken seriously if they're watching these riots right now and saying that Trump's attacking peaceful protests or something. It's so pathetic.
And let me just tell you what's happening now is that the left and these people are making Trump a great president despite himself.
Mm-hmm.
They are acting so badly and being so criminal and so malevolent and so toxic and disgusting that they are making this guy, he's already won on immigration. They're validating so much about him. They're drawing a clear line between good and bad. And there's enemies of the state are running around LA County right now, attacking law enforcement. These are enemies of the state. These are enemies of the state now who are running around. And by the way, they have their F-ICE shirts, but they also have their Palestinian flags. It's like, as they call it in commentary, it's the Omni cause. It's all the leftist causes now, all the most radical things now, and they're all together. These are enemies of the state.
And the climate and trans stuff.
Yep,
and
there's this video going around.
It's all together. It's all one thing to them.
Showing the 101 freeway. And it's totally blocked off. And so it's just a bunch of people, a bunch of terrorists with Palestinian flags are milling around there. Here's some of the noise. Oh, sorry, I guess it's produced. And the people who've decided that, no, these streets are ours, have set up a hot dog stand in the middle of the highway, and they're selling hot dogs. And let me just tell you that Americans see this, and they see these people who are saying, yeah, I might be illegal, but F you, we're stealing this highway, we're taking this highway. This road is mine now. This road is mine now, and I'm putting up a hot dog stand. There are people who are watching this, Alice, from coast to coast in this country. I would say that over 100 million of them look at this and they say, I wish a goddamn truck would drive right through these motherfuckers. And now, certainly not you or I. Obviously not. But if it happened, I wouldn't shed a freaking tear. This is terrorism. Shutting down highways is terrorism. These people are terrible. Get them the F out of here, and their friends and their relatives out of here.
I mean, setting cars on fire is terrorism.
You can sell hot dogs down in Guadalajara, okay? Process. F you, out of here. And Gavin Newsom can say all he wants. He is finito as a presidential candidate. You don't say, give me my National Guard back. It doesn't work like that.
Come and get me, or whatever he said.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Newsom is over. You have now decided to align yourselves with the 19 hijackers. That's what you're doing now. With the people who are in the wrong. You're saying, yep, that's right. We're with them. We're going to fight, and we're going to...
Some of the
Karen
people...
Bass needs to be arrested.
Some of those protesters believe that literally, by the way. They're on the team of the 19 hijackers. Because a bunch of Gen Zers have decided that maybe Bin Laden made some good points.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not actually that far from the truth. And what's wild about it is, like you say, that the left doesn't seem to see the political danger in this.
No.
And I don't understand why they don't seem to see the political danger in this. And I do know why. I do know why. It's because Trump makes them insane.
Exactly.
It's because Trump makes them insane, and Trump is going to do stuff that's going to turn people off to him over and over, and they're going to refuse to capitalize on the opportunity, and instead they're going to go full terrorism, men playing women's sports, insanity every freaking time. He makes them like unable to resist being crazy. And I don't know what it is about Trump that makes them do this, but every time they freak out and do the most insane possible thing. This is not good for them that they have this happening. And I don't think they know how to control this movement either. I don't think they know how to put a stop to this.
They don't know how to put a stop. And you're right. The problem is that they're stuck in, they don't believe that Trump is entitled to use any power of the presidency.
Well, right.
They don't. They think when he does it, they assign all sorts of motive to it. They think he's being malevolent, and they say he's doing it for the pain. The pain's the point when Trump does something. And they don't care.
But just the number of people who now believe this crazy position that, like, there's no... everybody on planet Earth has the right to just be in America.
Right.
Like they were saying to Scott Jennings on that TV show, like, and have free health care too,
yes.
and all these things. Can I make one more quick point before you play sound? There doesn't seem to be any sense now that being an illegal immigrant should mean that you get deported. But I think most people in the United States actually think that if you're an illegal immigrant, you should be deported and figure out your paperwork back in wherever you came from. And interestingly, so, like, we have more and more people now saying that they're illegal immigrants, actually. Like, openly saying
a member of Congress, yes.
A member of Congress did it. And then, this is my favorite one, because now they're all mad at J.D. Vance. Did you see this?
No.
Are you familiar with the menswear guy, so-called, on Twitter?
Oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah, he tells everybody how to dress, yeah.
He's, like, the Asian guy, and it's all anti-Republican how to dress. Like, he always criticizes how Republicans dress, but never Democrats.
I saw that today. I didn't know he was Asian till today, yeah.
Yeah, he's, an Asian guy and a gay Asian guy, and he's into menswear, and he has developed some huge Twitter following for some reason. He's a big leftist. He said on Twitter today that he's an illegal immigrant.
Go hype him.
So somebody joked about this and said, J.D. Vance, I know you're reading this. You have this opportunity. And he tweeted back the Jack Nicholson, like, nodding yes meme. And so now people are really mad that the vice president thinks it's funny to joke about going after political enemies on Twitter. As though anybody on the right has their feelings hurt by the menswear guy and that they're going to go after him for political purposes. But since when did it become okay for people to go around talking publicly about how they're illegal immigrants?
Well, I mean, else the Democrats stand them up at the convention every 4 years.
It's insanity.
Yeah, here's okay, let me start here. Actually, about what you were saying, this is that MSNBC reporter this is his beat. He's usually on the border telling us everything's okay. I forgot his name, But listen to how he describes what's going on.
How unusual and how unprecedented the size and the scale and the scope of the immigration enforcement operations that took place in Los Angeles, starting with right here at this Home Depot in Cypress Park at 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30 on Friday morning, were and why they led to those protests. The big picture is Los Angeles is a so-called majority minority city and a majority minority state. There are more people of color that live in Los Angeles than white people at this point, and many of those people are undocumented. By some counts, 10% of the population of LA County, one of the largest counties, the largest county by population in the United States, is undocumented, maybe as many as 1 million people. Those people are our neighbors, our coworkers, our classmates, our friends, our parishioners.
So there you go, making the case right there, like you were saying earlier, is that yes, no, these people are friends and their classmates and the okay. So if somebody becomes your friend or classmate and your parishioner or whatever, okay, he gets an exemption. They're our friends. They pick the stuff for me. Here's CNN. This is also just the word use here is excellent.
Just rounding up people. There is no targeted enforcement. We know they're going to like Home Depot lots to look for people who are looking for jobs. They're not criminals, and that is the outrage that you're seeing. And I think that if ICE left, I think if the National Guard left, you would see this all die down.
Actually, by the way, working in the United States without a visa is actually a crime.
Well,
by the
right,
way.
and the law says that you have to expel these people. If ICE left, it would all die down. Well, no, that's not how it works here in the America. It's not that you get to do the crime, and if we react to the crime according to the law, that then you can shut down the streets and attack us. That's not how this works.
Right.
Can you imagine if if you just leave, then there won't be a problem? Well, that's fine. If you just left, if all the cops left a hostage situation, too, probably the hostage taker would sneak out the back door, get in his car, and leave. Yeah, he probably would. But that's not what we do here. If ICE left, it's freaking amazing. Obviously, Keith Olbermann is weighing in on this.
Now on the new Countdown podcast, Donald Trump's terrorist attack on Los Angeles, his terrorist threat against the rest of America. What else do you call it when you send in the National Guard and threaten to send in active Marines into a U.S. city to threaten and possibly shoot civilians who are trying to protect people from being kidnapped, disappeared, and renditioned to foreign torture centers? It is the actual definition of terrorism, the attempt to make political change by violence or the threat of violence. Make no mistake what this is. It is Donald Trump's terrorist attack on Los Angeles.
Now, hold on one second. Remember when Keith Olbermann was an exceptionally crazy guy? He just sounds like every Democrat now.
Yeah.
They've all gone there. Olbermann, yes.
Well, and it's fascinating. I love this idea that sending in federal law enforcement is unprecedented. I mean, think about all the cases. And by the way, we don't in this country have a thing where people in some states get to just not go along with federal law enforcement if they don't feel like it. If that were the case, we would still have Jim Crow in like half this country, because those people in the South did not want to integrate the schools.
Yep.
And if they had said, you know what, if you would just stop trying to integrate the schools, we wouldn't have a problem here. Why are you sending in these federal... They were pretty mad about it. And guess what? We just went in and we made them integrate the freaking schools.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were mad about it. And then the schools were integrated. And tough luck on them, you know. But it certainly is not unprecedented to have federal law enforcement enforce federal law, which nobody... If they think there's some massive support for having a completely open border and not prosecute. They're welcome to try and pass that through Congress. But of course they can't, because nobody can vote for that in Congress. Most of the Democrats can't vote for that in Congress, or they'd never be reelected in a million years. Are you kidding me? This stuff is not popular. They're a tiny minority, and they've convinced themselves with these whacked out positions that they are representative of the some majority of the American people. And yet every time a poll comes out, and Trump's approval rating is not that high, but I think it's like, I just saw a Morning Consult one. It's like 51% disapprove, 46% approve.
Yep.
I guarantee you the approval rating of those riots is a lot lower than that.
Of course.
And it's
yeah,
not,
actually, yeah.
And those approval ratings are not, that's not what the left wants to see. That's not what they've convinced themselves Trump's popularity actually is. They think that they're like 80% of the country, and some tiny minority of crazy MAGA people has this crazy idea that we're going to have a border where you can only come in if you have followed a process.
No, people want, and when I say that about the truck driving through, there's a general innate sense of unfairness about people skipping a line and people taking benefits from taxpayers when many people, Americans, deserve them.
Well,
you know, if we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way, way, way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Now, in the aggregate, he is in positive territory at plus 1 point.
And there's nothing that's going to diminish that enthusiasm for him on this. He is right on this. And the more the Democrats run around and all act like Keith Olbermann, the more, like we said in the beginning, the more despite himself, he's going to be a great, great president.
Yeah, and the irony is he's not even like deporting people fast enough to like even make a dent in the amount of illegal immigrants that are here. He's not. If he continued deporting people at this rate for his entire term, we'd be nowhere near the 15 million or so illegal immigrants who are in this country right now. There's no way. You can't get to that many. And it was interesting. I was reading some libertarians saying, and libertarians, of course, always want a market-based approach to policy, because they were complaining about how expensive the ICE budget is, right? Mm-hmm. And the administration's kind of saying, like, well, how are we supposed to get rid of 15 million illegals without more ICE budget? And the libertarian was saying, essentially, you know, have bounties, like have anyone who turns in an illegal gets $5,000. And if you accuse somebody of being an illegal who's not an illegal, then you have to pay them $2,000. So there's a big incentive, like, not to get it wrong, but that you could like really speed it up that way and do it cheaper. But it was, I mean, it's a crazy problem to have.
Yes.
That there's just literally too many illegal immigrants here. And what's scary is if we get another Democrat president in 4 years, they're going to go right back to importing hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants a month immediately.
Well, yes.
So, I mean, I know we all like to see the deportations happening, and that's good, but it doesn't, it's like it's a drop in the bucket. This is still not even close to solving the actual problem.
No.
And I don't know what the answer is for that, but the fact that congressmen and, you know, niche internet celebrities can without fear just go around saying they're illegal immigrants publicly is a bad sign for whether or not we'll actually be able to deport all the illegal immigrants who are here.
And not only that, but you have, add to that, Alice, not only that, but the guy who runs Congress, or the Democrats in Congress, Hakeem Jeffries, is saying absolutely, like, get the hell out.
Also allowing the Trump administration to try to distract the American people by unleashing masked agents. If they were proud of what they are doing, why are they masked? This isn't the 1930s.
Once again, going after law enforcement, why are they masked? They're masked because you're doxing them and trying to kill them.
Right.
And people have been doing it. One guy just turned himself in.
Why are they masked?
And can I just say another thing, Alice? Why is this an articulate dumbass, like, in a leadership position? Can you guys, Democrats, find somebody who can speak English?
I don't know.
I'm serious.
I know Catherine Clark's in a leadership position too.
This guy's a moron.
And so their core principles that are pretty simple: secure the border decisively. We supported legislation that was negotiated. It was the toughest border security bill to emerge from Congress in modern American history, and Donald Trump killed
Why
it.
would you do that? This isn't the 1930s. Why would you have a tough immigration bill? The truth is, your stupid bill it would not have been executed by the head of the executive branch last year, and it wasn't. As a matter of fact, Biden didn't do anything. Trump is doing all this stuff, not through legislation. He's doing all this stuff using the executive branch. Biden could have done the same thing. He never did.
These people have no credibility on the issues that they claim to stand for. It's all a distraction.
Once again, taking the 20 on the 80-20 issue. And it's amazing. Here's Chris Murphy. Also, like, amazing. Like, what are you guys running for? Are they simply running for the Democratic nomination? Not realizing that all this videotape, all of this video exists past a nomination?
This is a moment where we have to be on the streets all over the country to protest what's happening to our immigrant community, but more broadly to protest what's happening to our democracy. This is the most corrupt administration in the history of the country, and we are going to rise to this moment by being out there on the street.
Get out there in the street. Yeah, get out there in the street. More people. Brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. Americans seeing people with hot dog stands on a closed-off highway. Americans who have to take kids to cancer treatments and adults to the hospital and trying to be on a family vacation and get home from work. Americans who are doing the right thing see this thing, and they see you saying, yeah, we need more people in the street. Yeah, take to the streets. Do whatever you want to. You guys, is this... Are they going to, like, grab their coat, put on their top hat, have one last look around the room, flick the light off, and go out the door? It's like, what are you freaking doing? It's amazing. There's not enough Americans who are a huge fan of illegal immigration to sustain a party.
Yeah, but they...
Just, you know what? Embrace pedophilia, too. Might as well. It can't hurt.
But they have, like, this death spiral problem now, where they've scared away the normal people. So the majority of their party is now nuts. You know what I'm saying? And the more normal people they scare away, the more nuts the average of the remaining people becomes. So then they scare away more people. So have you been following this New York mayor's race stuff at all?
I've seen some terrorist guy up there.
Yeah, this guy, Zoran, who's born in Uganda and, like, could not even vote. He, like, wasn't a citizen until the last couple years. Like, he couldn't vote at the last mayor's race or whatever. So it's the main two people are him and Cuomo, and they're, like, tied right now in the polls. And his platform is, like, I was just looking up his platform. Freeze the rent, free buses, free childcare, city-owned grocery stores,
Kill the groundhog,
build housing, more taxes. I mean, I don't know. The Democratic Socialists, all the thing, the Working Families Party. He's got and, like, the former governor of the state, who I realize is a disgraced predator, but, like, the Democratic Party doesn't care about that, let's be real, but who has, like, insane name recognition and that people really like. He's running and he's, like, completely blown his lead, and this, like, socialist guy is now tied with him for, like, he's going to probably be the mayor of New York. And I mean,
well, you're right, but you know,
but that's, like, they're so... And I know the phrase bubble, like, in a bubble, is overused, but they're so in a bubble with other crazy people that they can't get themselves out of it.
That's what happens when you build and cultivate a coalition that consists of toxic people who you've trained to be ogres. You've trained this army of ogres to be ogres, and so they're ogres, and the ogres are looking for targets, and you're standing right there. So there you go.
Yeah.
You know, part of me is like, maybe Southern California needs chaos. Maybe that's the only way out of the mess is total chaos. Because, I mean, something has to act for these people. Something has to act as a smelling salt agent somewhere and wake people up. Because people are now, have just lost it. Just lost it. We talk about neighbors and friends who are like way on the wrong side of this. Yes, it's probably not great to gype some 17-year-old illegal kid when you're meant to get his dad. But these are anecdotal things that are happening out there. This isn't a hunt for the brown people. This is 86ing, which doesn't mean to kill, illegal immigrants, which is what you're supposed to do. You know, there's a reason that we've got Border Patrol and agents and doggies and trucks, because you're not allowed to just come in here and stay in here. And I understand that everybody who comes in here now is a migrant and says that they're going to be persecuted back home. That still doesn't mean that you're allowed to just be in here. You can't just be here. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. And then you can't just
immediately be entitled to free housing, free health care, free childcare, free
and
food.
Being here and then shutting down a highway. I mean, obviously, I would unleash so many pit bulls in those people in those highways. You know what I would do? If it were up to me, I would build a chain link fence around where the people are in the highways, and I just fill it with pit bulls, angry pit bulls.
But, like, isn't this going to be radicalizing for more people? Like, if you are just a normal person who lives in California and is trying to go about your life, the fact that these people are allowed to shut down your state and destroy a property and riot, and then instead of doing anything about it, the authorities in your state are trying to protect them from being stopped by the federal government. Like, Gavin Newsom's literally going to bat for those people instead of the people in his state who, like, want to get to work. And he's fighting Trump to protect these a-holes. Illegal immigrant, ungrateful jerks who are shutting down the highway and attacking cops and all this stuff. And, like, it's incredible to me. It's incredible to me that, once again, we've talked about this before, but, like, they seem to choose the worst hills to die on. And Trump gives you stuff sometimes. They could have done the economy stuff. Oh, and Trump's numbers are turning around on the economy, too. The, like, consumer outlook is up. Everything's, like, back to normal. People are feeling good about the economy. Everything's fine. I don't know how they're going to handle it if Trump continues to do just fine as president. Passes a big tax cut for everybody. I don't know either, and, like, Alice.
I don't know either. But unfortunately, the mental health institutions are also overrun with progressives. So they're all infected. So what do you do? By the way, here's Gavin Newsom in 2024, which I have as last year.
So back down here at the border, Tijuana, right behind me, San Diego sector, this is the San Ysidro port of entry, not too far away, which is the largest in the Western Hemisphere. We were just down here with the National Guard, meeting with customs agents as well as Border Patrol, talking about our partnerships. 390 National Guardsmen and women that have been working, particularly as it relates to fentanyl here in the state of California. Look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, they need more resources. Everybody needs more resources. And the Republican Party has been consistently standing in the way of providing the resources, the support for the men and women working hard, not only here at the border, but out throughout the state of California and this country to address the issues related to the border. It's time for them to stop playing politics. It's time for the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to stop playing politics and do the right.
He was fine with National Guard then, and he wanted them to have more resources.
Yeah, but not now.
No.
Not now that they want to be able to stop the people who are actively destroying the state.
Correct.
No, he wants the destruction of property to continue.
Correct. All right, let me see what else I have here. And I'll get you to your basketball game. I also know you would.
Did we get a chance to talk about Simone Biles yesterday, or did we not get to that?
I don't think we ever did.
I can't tell you how disappointed I am about that.
I know, yeah.
It's disappointing. I mean, I have always, like...
She's stupid, unfortunately. It stinks.
Liked her. I mean, yeah, she's just... I think... I think she's obviously a very accomplished person and super talented and has an amazing life story of hardship that she came from and stuff. And you would think that would make her more aware of reality, but apparently it has not. Apparently, I think a lot of these celebrities just want to go where they think the wind is blowing, and I believe in my heart that she will turn out to have gotten this one very, very wrong. In terms of like the trans sports stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine. I think they're just trying to do the thing that they're supposed to do that's popular that won't get them canceled, and that they choose wrong. But yeah, like what a mistake, what an embarrassment for a person as accomplished as she is to friggin' defend this indefensible, just boys winning girls sports stuff. And watching this softball championship team, this high school softball team from Minnesota or wherever they're from that won their big championship with a boy pitching.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills me is the coaches enabling it, because we've seen a lot of softball coaches over the years.
I hate yeah.
The coaches know. The coach knows
Yeah,
that what
they
he's
do.
doing is scummy and unfair.
Can I say
He's
another
a
thing?
You have to be such a creep and a weirdo to think that it's okay and defend it just so that your friggin' kid's softball team wins. It's so gross. It's
Can I say something
disgusting
else?
to me.
Last week, I think it was last Friday. It was right after I got fired, so I think it was like I think it was Friday. My neighbor Dan, who a lot of you guys have met, said, "Hey, we're going to be down at this park watching softball. If you want to come down." And for some reason in my head, and I know that usually we'll bring a couple of spiked seltzers or whatever and watch a game. And just it's kind of like our going to a bar is really just the softball game and whatever. It didn't occur to me that it was high school women's. It was his daughter was on the team, the varsity team.
Yeah.
So, and I'd never seen them. My daughter's on junior varsity, and so I've seen them. And so we watched the varsity team. The level of play was freaking incredible. I couldn't believe it, how good these girls are. And people have told me that I'm wrong about this. I don't believe I'm wrong. I don't believe we had girls who could play and throw like that in 1985. I don't think we did. And they're so good, these girls. They're
At least
so good.
not as much, I don't think.
They're so good. They're like athletically, there's all the movements and everything they're doing is identical to the guys. They're so good, and you can tell they've worked so hard. And the pitchers we were behind the backstop, so we're watching these pitches, and I'm like, get me the frig. I would never be able to bat against these girls. And I just never seen it up close, like how good they are. And this is like one of the state playoffs that was happening. Unfortunately, our team lost. They almost had a comeback. They almost did, but like
yeah, I think that girl, that's the senior who's the pitcher on our high school.
Yeah. But anyway,
varsity team is like,
so,
I think she's like going to college for softball. I think
she
she's
should.
like really, really good.
But the team was so good and strong. And like our next door neighbor, you know her, who's like 15 and is on the team, who's a really good athlete at everything. She's actually a gymnast. She's like awesome. But this team is so good that all that she does in the games is pinch run. They don't even put her up at bat because this team is so good. So it just like occurred to me then, it became very real to me that imagine that these girls have worked so hard to get so elite, which we know costs a lot of money, do a lot of clinics and a lot of this and all that, whatever, and like all the practices and it's daily practices and everything. Imagine that to have a guy come
some
and
crummy,
steal
mediocre boy.
Yeah, come and steal it from you, all of it.
Yeah,
and act as if it's not a horrible violation on these girls. God, that just makes me feel sick to think about it. It's freaking...
It's so disgusting. And that's why I say, like, the coach that enables it, they absolutely know what they're doing. They absolutely do. And that's, like, why I'm so disgusted
You know
with
what
that
it is?
coach.
It's a coach being activist. And instead
the coach of that team is a man, too.
It's a coach being activist and... And saying, yeah, no, as a coach, like just like as a librarian, I know that these are good for kids to have. Yeah, as a coach, I know that everybody should be able to play. Like, fuck, dude, that's so grody.
No, that coach, the coach of the trans team, is an adult man. Like, you absolutely know what you're doing.
It's gross. All right, should we do the chat?
Yes, let's head to the chat.
Then I've got a basketball game to watch, which Tommy from New Hampshire is sending score updates. Tommy, no. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. I'm ready. So ready. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm watching a nice note on Twitter from Peter, who says, enjoyed the first podcast. So ridiculous that you're not a WTIC anymore. You're always appointment listening for me. There's nothing worthwhile on that station anymore. I'll miss listening to you live and all the callers. We got a lot of nice notes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Peter. You can always listen to us in me on the Shattuck Show.
Shattuck Show. Actually, if you just say it fast, it just turns into Shattuck Show.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
It's made to accommodate my natural speech impediment. But thank you.
But yes, keep listening. Spread the word on that one, because as we know, like for every person that knows what's happening and that show exists, there's like 10 more people who woke up today and are like, "Why isn't Tom on? I don't understand."
Yeah.
Like who haven't heard any of this news yet. So
I know.
Definitely share the information of like where to find Tom and everything. Because I know people are out there looking, and we appreciate all you guys so much who've listened so far and supported the show and spread the word with people and joined the Patreon and all the things, and appreciate it so much. It's really nice.
Thank you.
So, Tom,
hey,
Alice,
hey.
Sad day today. First time in 12 years that I did not listen to WTIC or a replay because I was at work.
Wow.
When either Jim Vicevich, Pastor Will, or Tom or Todd were on the radio. It's the end of the era.
Sorry, Rudy.
Syndicated radio sucks.
Mm.
We need to fix that. It's time to take Tom syndicated.
Hey,
get you down to Free America, Florida. Get Tom on syndication. And let's rock and roll.
All right.
Because it's too early for Tom to be off the air.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thanks, Rudy.
Carry on, folks.
Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate that.
Let LA burn.
Yeah.
No, we need to save California from the crazy people. It's too nice not to save it.
I'm with
from
Rudy.
them.
I'm with Rudy.
Well, your lips to God's ears.
I haven't really looked around to see what's over around. You know, there was a time a couple of years ago where I thought like, there's a chance that. I mean, I got a couple of people sniffed around a couple of years ago. I don't know what happens. I don't know. I mean, to have a syndicated radio thing would be great. I'd love that. But that said, at the end of the day, there might be this. There is not might. There is more potential for Shattuck Show to get more reach than terrestrial radio. As a matter of fact, it definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, and I've talked to people who even like when I do out the math on AM radio ratings are surprised how few people even listen to AM radio nowadays. I mean, like the podcast world is so huge. There is a chance for it to get bigger. I mean, like I'm with Rudy. I think it's sad what's happened to newspapers, what's happened to TV, what's happened to radio, and the way it's just been hollowed out. And some of these great historic institutions, like our kids aren't going to know what any of this is, except it's some weird thing their dad used to say, W Travelers Insurance Company. They won't have any idea.
Well, my kids especially so disrespect what I do.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy.
You know, I listened to the Shot of Shattuck. It was
Hey.
very refreshing. Just 34 minutes of just Tom talking. I mean, again,
Thank
gross because of the snotting and the grossness. And
Yeah, I know.
that comes with it. But
I'll try
didn't have to find myself plus 30ing at all. Like no interruptions.
Wow.
I can't put my finger on exactly why that is, but it was very refreshing just to kind of just listen to someone. Again, snot filled and gross, but just kind of nice.
There you go. I'll take it. I'm sorry, Alice. I know I'm supposed to ride or die here with you, but I'm sorry. I like the praise.
My feelings are not hurt.
Billy's a tough one to please, too. So, all right.
It's
It's bros before hoes with Billy.
I like that. I like that for you.
Absolutely.
With
I'm sorry about the snotting. Maybe there's a way I can filter it out with this gadget over here. There could be a way. This does things.
Can you
Things happen here.
What if you did like a menthol cough drop or something and that could like clear you out sort of for the show?
I can do the entire Darth Vader thing.
Hey, check 1, 2. Oh, this one I like. Yeah.
Hello? Check one.
Hey.
Hello. I can't stop it.
All right.
Are you a child?
Yeah, actually. Yes, I am. Yeah, so we'll see. But probably the noises are going to have to stay there because that's just me. Imagine being like next to me in bed. Can you imagine? Pardon me?
I can imagine.
Why did you laugh? What's funny?
Nothing's funny.
What was the King Henry VIII? Oh, Queen Elizabeth's husband's name, Alice? Say it again. How dare you? I'm not special.
Sorry about the loss, Tom.
Hey, Justin, thanks.
Also, I got a new car.
Nice.
Subaru Impreza 2025.
Tom still misses his Subaru.
Yeah, and mine back then was used. It was a 2004. I love that car. It's a great car. I don't have a car or a job, as a matter of fact. But those Subarus are great cars.
Fresh off the lot.
There you go.
And it only had 8 miles when I bought it.
Very cool.
Yep.
What was it, like 26? I think I talked him down to like 24,000.
Nice.
But I put a down payment on it, so
there you go.
It wasn't too bad. The monthly payments on it. Used some jackpot winnings.
Here we go. Good for you,
for
man.
the down payment. But other than that, I'm sorry about the loss of the job, Tom.
It's okay.
You no longer work for Palpatine, so hope this new venture works out.
Yeah.
Go Pacers.
Here we go.
My crazy conspiracy theory is that your ratings bonus earlier this year fed into their decision.
Really? Yeah, well, who knows?
Put a stop to that. You don't want to have to pay out those.
I think the ratings were pretty good, but yeah, who knows? Daniel Lucas, Alice.
All right, I'm ready.
Tom, I'm sorry that WTIC saw fit to take you off the air.
Thank you, Daniel.
I thought you were the most funny, direct,
thank you,
and spot-on person on radio. And I also think you're funnier than anyone on late night TV.
Damn.
I wish you and your family the best.
Thank you.
And I hope to hear you on the air again somewhere soon.
Thank you, Daniel. That is very nice.
That is really
very
nice. Thank you.
Sometimes I wonder you never quite know that you never quite know that there's a chance, because like my mother lied to me my entire childhood. I realize now that she always thought that I was the R word, and so built me up to believe I was genius, bright, and all that stuff. And I realized now, like looking back, oh, I see that she thought that I was just challenged, and that's why she tried to inflate.
You're so smart. You answered every question,
That's
Joe.
exactly right. That's exactly right. I answered every question. So it's actually good, because I wonder sometimes, are they all just being my mother and being like, oh, he's not, but he's trying. So let's just, yeah, there you go. Good. I answered all the questions. So it's nice to hear some feedback that actually, that people enjoyed the show and were fooled into believing that I actually was talented or entertaining. I guess entertaining is it also, okay? All right, I'm going to go now, okay? I got to go watch basketball. Pacers. Go Pacers. Where does the music come from? Hold on.
Thank you so much, everybody. Once again, it's really been nice to see all the nice things everyone has said, and so glad you're here with us at the Burn Barrel and at the Shot of Shattuck Show. The Shot of Shattuck Show, if you are trying to type it into a search engine, I don't think it's going to take show as a... We will see you tomorrow.
C'est la vie.